You know, it's funny, we do say inner silence, but it's not inner, because if it's inner, it's again separated from everything else. It's actually in and out silence, because I can have it just within me. I can start to connect with it within me because it's the closest for me. But if it will stay in, it means I am cutting myself from you. Understand? I have my inner silence. Stay there. And don't disturb, by the way, my inner silence. So that's cutting off. So it will start from inner because it's the closest, and then it will expand outside of me, and it will be silence. Now, the form can be any form together. It's really not so much the technique if it's yoga or tai chi or painting. It's more not to try to define this silence, because the moment you define it, you create again an artificial state. You cannot force it, you cannot plan it, you can help it, you can help to create environment, but the actual practice is to become the observer. Understand? And you can become observer through yoga, you can become observer through tai chi or painting or just sitting and watching the ocean. It's even better when you watch the ocean, don't stand there and watch the ocean. Stand there and let the ocean watch you. It's a very different place to be. But being the observer, this is where you will start to experience the silence. Because as long as you are involved and identified with what you see around, you are part of the noise. The observer has no voice. The true observer, it's not the observer that said, oh, she's very spiritual, he's really low consciousness. This is not the observer, this is the judge that think he's observer. The observer doesn't have any voice because there is no interpretation. But by observing, you're starting to see the whole picture, and you know, I am not that. So you can do yoga. Let's say you do actually yoga, the practice of the postures of the asanas. And you're very identified with the posture, and you're very mesmerized by your body until you're identified, I am with this beautiful body, and look, I'm doing a split. Any practice, even spiritual practice, can take you to the other side. So as you do yoga, you're more and more identified with your beauty, with your performance, and you start to perform the yoga, would create more noise. Performance is always very noisy. This is why there is sound system when you have performance. Like right now, I create a lot of noise. But if you start to do yoga and you observe yourself doing yoga, you observe the body, you observe your mind, you observe the breath, you know you are not it. You will start to hear the silence. And the practice will move from performance, external performance, to internal. It's like there is no minder that said, oh, I'm going to do today down dog so I'll have a nice bum. It's simply internally this energy comes and moves you to the right posture that you need to be in this moment, and there is no aim to it and there is no purpose to it. It is what it is. So you are in pure meditation and you observe all this. And the same with the Tai Chi, and the same with art. I mean, pure art. If you do art and there is mind there, are they going to love it? Is this trendy? I don't know if they will like today. Flowers going today? I don't think flowers. I mean, people like more. This is mine. This is noise. But if you are fully observing yourself, seeing the energy going through you and just manifest itself in colors or in music or whatever the art is, you will hear silence. You will be part of the silence. So, the absolute practice to get to silence is become the observer. And then we have different practices that can help us to come to this place of to become to observer, but all practices needs to take us there.
What is the observer?
If I will define it to you, if I will define what the observer is, it's not anymore it. You understand? Because then we struggle it into a concept, and the observer is beyond concept. It's a state. Okay, at least don't think it's something in you with eyes and teeth. But it's a state of consciousness that in the same time seeing and experiencing the moment as it is. Both. It's very interesting. It's not only observing, it's because you observe and you see the moment as it is, you know this consciousness must be part of this moment. So you experience it as well. But you see, what you do right now, you're trying to understand this. And inside your mind, the mind is made of small files. Files that you know, files that you don't know, files that you're adding every time you have experience. So right now your mind goes, said, okay, it's this and this and this and this and this. And you're trying to see where you can put it, what create more separation. So you cannot understand what I'm telling you now. You may allow it to resonate in you until you will know it beyond your mind. But just to help you a bit too, you need a doggy bag to take it home today, something. So let's talk about state of consciousness, that it's beyond any definition, beyond even its own definition. And this is what makes tough the spiritual path, because especially for us Westerns, that we are so much left brain side, very analytic. We need to understand everything. You see, in the traditional spirituality, people had to experience and then they start to ask questions, the teacher. In the West, we're very different. We want to understand. You want me to do yoga? Tell me why yoga is good. We first need to understand, then we need to be convinced that meditation is really powerful, and then we may try it and we'll still complain. You said I'll get realized in 3 months. How come it takes me 2 years? In the tradition of spirituality, it was different. The question had to come from the experience. And then it's still, when you asked, it wasn't so much to understand because you're experiencing, but the teacher more confirmed with you, yeah, you are good, you're fine, because sometimes the experiences are crazy and you think, I'm losing my mind. And the teacher said, no, keep going. You're not crazy, you're not losing your mind is part of the experience. So very different approaches we have. You can understand in one point, we can read books about spirituality and we can analyze it and we can make sense of it, but in one point you have to drop the need to understand and move to pure experience. And in this pure experience, you will meet silence. This is why you cannot sell spirituality. You cannot convince people, hey, come and realize. I'm telling you, it's amazing, it's cool. If you realize you have these benefits and it makes your skin smooth, you can't. Because it's beyond reasoning, it's beyond understanding, it's just pure experience of the observer. Don't think about this.